Hi, this is Mrs. Hogarth again. Let's work on a blind contour drawing and then turn it into a painting. So let's first talk about what a blind contour is. A blind contour is not when you close your eyes and draw. It is actually when you look only at what you're drawing, meaning you don't look at your paper at all. Don't look at your paper at all. It's quite the challenge and it's easy to want to cheat. So you want to do this so you're only looking at, in this case, I was looking at a picture of myself. When you do this, everything is going to be in the wrong spot. If it's in the right spot, you probably cheated and looked at your paper. So you don't really know where you're at ever when you're drawing this. You can see my big fat lip and then my way little baby lip on the top. So I never looked at my paper. Another hint is when you're doing this is don't pick up your pen or your pencil or whatever you're drawing with, because if you're not looking at your paper, you don't know where to put it back down. So all one line, this is basically all one line. Draw very slowly when you're working. Now what I do is I pretend that there's a little teeny insect crawling along the edge of everything. A contour drawing means the edge of everything. So he's right now crawling along the edge of my glasses. And I'm making my pen turn when he turns a corner, or she, or go straight when the bug or insect is going straight. He's a slow bug, so draw slowly. Just follow the edge. What you're doing is you're getting your brain and your hand and your eye to all work together to really observe what is there, not what you think is there. Okay? This is going to make you a better drawer in the end. Now, this is not going to look all that great. It's going to almost look like Pablo Picasso went crazy and drew this, everything's in the wrong spot on purpose. But this will exercise parts of your brain that help you become a better artist. You're observing much more closely. Again, I don't look like this. At least I don't think I look like this. Certainly part of my glasses is not sticking on my forehead and my eye is not, one eye is not lower than the other, but I looked very carefully. When you're done with it, you can take it and fill in the spaces with different kinds of color with a marker or some watercolor paint, or even just different patterns inside the spaces because you have some really cool shapes going on in there. In a minute, I'm going to go back in and add some color with some watercolor paint. And then we're going to look at a student sample where they did that, but then they went back in with some gel pens and colored pencils and added some patterns. So now let's add some color to this. I'm going to start with the background. You can start wherever you want. I like to start with the background, and I usually make a background kind of a cool color, which is blues and purples and blue-greens. Those are cool colors. That pushes it back further in space. Now, it's kind of wet. You can see the paint spreading, kind of like the paint to play around and move. But if I'm painting with blue paint, I want to be careful if it's wet and not add orange paint. Think about why. If I add orange paint to blue, it's kind of going to get brown and muddy colored. Purple and yellow, I don't want to mix together because it's going to get kind of brown and muddy, unless you want it to be a brown color. Right? You might want that. See how I'm just filling in the shapes? You can do that with all kinds of things, colored pencils or markers or whatever you want. Just have fun with it. You can throw some salt on wet paint too, and that's always fun. It makes a cool texture. So here we are, almost finished. I don't really paint that fast, by the way. I sped it up. We're almost finished. And there we go. There's the final one. And then here's a student sample coming up with some other patterns and textures. So have fun with this.